continue working our way geographic northward towards the Beaufort Slope. Probably about mile 31.9. This is a good time to mention our location, Vancouver Island, on the west coast of British Columbia, and the red dot is just north of the city of Port Alberni. Here's a railway map, and we're looking at the Port Alberni Subdivision, which goes from right to left, Parksville to Port Alberni, and the red circle is the area of the hike north of Port Alberni. Here's a closer view of the Port Alberni area, and you can see Cameron Lake on the far right for context. The black is the railway route, and the red circle again is the area of my hike. Here's the close map of the area. Red circle is where I start and end my overall hike, McLean Mill National Historic Site parking lot. Here's the first leg going down the mill spur to the junction, that's the red circle. And then I go in a clockwise direction on the E&N mainline, ending up at mile 28.9 bridge. That's the red circle on the right. And then I backtrack for a way and take a series of trails back to the McLean Mill site. And here's the portion of the hike that's covered by this particular video. A recreational roadway joins on the left, and I believe that this here beside the tracks is the remnants of what used to be Bainbridge siding. That's where the fun road goes. But yeah, I think this used to be Bainbridge siding here. That's my theory. We're working our way closer to the slope and what will be a very tight hairpin curve. And I'm thankful for the old siding. Gives me room to pass these windfalls. I expect to see a few obstacles today. There's something coming up a bit further ahead. This guy here, easy. Underneath. Okay, here's where the recreation trail crosses the railway. This is a fairly good unauthorized crossing. It goes from there over to there. And we got some fairly significant windfall here. Straight ahead, cut up. Easy to go around using the pathway, but nonetheless an obstacle if we were thinking of the railway. Switched into wide angle on my phone. As the trees came down, you can see the broken stump in the middle of the frame in the distance there. Came down here, and that's the extent of it. Here's the good work done by the recreational users of this corridor. Oh yeah, we had some significant windstorms here in autumn 2024. Back to my regular camera, that's looking back. Yeah, here's the carnage. Big trees, big moss covered trees. Yeah, there's lots of them. I wonder if I'll see more scenes like this. Let's go back up to the railway. So we're coming into the sharp hairpin curve, and we'll switch from going northward geographically to something a bit closer to southward. Not quite, I think. I enjoy all the maple leaves around here. It's a lovely spot. This is coming up to where the log train trail crosses. It crosses level crossing here up ahead, but it used to cross when it was a logging road, and previously the Alberni Pacific Lumber Railway crossed underneath the E&N. The E&N was on a trestle. That's all filled in now. We're walking on that. Down there is where the log train trail goes, northward and southward, down there on the right. And further through here is where it crossed underneath when it was a logging road, and before that the railway, like I said. We're going to go straight. Okay, continue on. There's a lot of spring growth here. Accumulation of a few years, I guess. Yeah, down there. That's where the log train trail goes. I love how lush, green, and cool this is here. One of my favorite parts on the hike. Take a look behind. Yeah, curve kind of obscured by the growth. This is near the end of May, so lots of growth happening. Little rail there is essentially some rebar that was used to strengthen the filled in area. Underneath us is where the Alberni Pacific Lumber Railway and then a logging road passed underneath, so we would have been on a trestle years ago and now filled in. Went north there to Bainbridge and south through there. We continue this way on the curve now. This curve is going to take quite a while to navigate. It always feels weird when it straightens out and we can all of a sudden see a bit of a distance ahead of us. Here comes an obstacle that is new to me, so it happened in the last 13 months. It's just some trees pushed down. Easy enough for me to navigate. That's what it looks like. I think there'll be more like that coming up. And coming up around the corner a ways is a new logging road, new to me last year, so it happened about a year and a half ago. An authorized logging road with a proper grade crossing and culvert set in. One of those things where even though there's been no train activity here for decades, they needed to build the road crossing as if a train would come in current era. And that's just the way it is. Consequence of this weird situation of owned as a railway, but no activity. So off on my right I can see a lot of logging that's been done. That's new to me. Before it was just the road. As we continue on the curve. There's a trail there, but I think it's gone now because of the logging. That happens. And there's a creek, kind of like a ditch creek coming up on our left. I love the sound. It's another obstacle. It was cleared by someone good, thank you. And here comes the logging road crossing. They did a good job. All we need is train activity to make it all worthwhile. But again, that's just the situation. Road goes up there, nice culvert. Road goes through there. And Mulcaster Swamp through there. Looking back, there's a view of industry along the railway. And now let's go back into the jungle that time has forgotten. I like it though. Talk about overgrowth though.